Happy Monday! Or whatever day you are watching this. Today is a much better day than last week. If you watched my What Sold video last Monday, things were looking pretty grim, but I am happy to report that I had a pretty good weekend, or at least like what I want my weekends to look like this weekend. Sales were good, but that means we have a lot to ship, and so let's jump into it. Before I jump into this video, can I ask a favor from y'all? Could you, if you watch these videos regularly, give this video a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel, because it really helps our videos. We put a lot of effort into these videos, and so it would mean a lot to us if you just took a few seconds to do that. All right. So as with every week, I am going to go over Friday sales, Saturday sales, Sunday sales, and at the end of the video, I'll go over the total sales. And then of course, I'm gonna share my gross profit for all of those as well. And I have to say this every video because I always get comments. Gross profit includes my cost of goods, my shipping costs, and any platform fees. Net profit, on the other hand, would include things like my lease, my internet, etc. Net profit includes all my expenses. So, okay, on Friday, I had $329.06 in sales, and I had a gross profit of $163.92. So, a really good, solid day. So this was a day in which I had more sales. Actually, I had the same number of sales on eBay as I did Poshmark, which is very rarely the case in my business right now, but in terms of dollar amount, I had higher sales on eBay, and eBay actually really came through for me this weekend, which I don't know why that is. It just happened to be the case, and I really needed it, so I am grateful. I was coming off of like a 24-hour period with no sales on Poshmark, and it was getting to the point where I was starting to get concerned that my account was like banned or restricted in some way on Poshmark. And so I had Matt like go on his Poshmark account and send me an offer just to make sure like it was even possible and that people could send me offers. It was a desert on Poshmark, I think like Thursday going into Friday. But luckily things started picking up and sales were pretty good on Poshmark over the weekend. But let's start with eBay sales. So my first sale was this new without tags Jenny Packham bridesmaid gown. This I got through liquidation, and Jenny Packham, I don't know if I covered it in my formal wear video, which I'll link up on the screen in case you haven't watched it, but I love selling formal wear, and right now is a really good season for formal wear. A lot of spring weddings and events happening. So I was happy to have this sale. I had this listed, I think it had a flaw, I'm not sure, but I had it listed for $78. It's a really gorgeous dress, and it sold for $54.60 plus $9.99 shipping. And then my gross profit after fees and so forth was $37.13. It did take 218 days to sell, and that can be pretty typical for this type of item, but I'm very happy with the sale. And I think it was like my best, sale of the day. So, and that's often the case with formal wear. Oftentimes formal wear is my best sale of whatever given day, and that's why, I really like it. If you just have enough formal wear pieces in your closet, the 218 days till sold isn't going to, and you have enough storage space, of course, the 218 days till sold isn't going to really like worry you that much, because you know it will sell. It just has to find the right buyer, and you just have over time enough of those sales that it really pays off. Okay, so I had 4 sales on eBay and 4 sales on Poshmark. Okay, my next sale was a top that I got at the bins. This is Free People Beach. It's a boat neck top in green. I was on the fence as to whether or not I should pick this up, but I'm glad I did. I paid $1.09 for it, and I listed it for $25. It sold for $17.50 plus shipping, which came out to $22.49, and my gross profit was $11.34. It did take 103 days to sell, but Free People Beach does especially well, of course, during the spring and summer, so I'm not surprised that now it is selling. And then actually my next sale on eBay was another Free People piece. I had a lot of Free People and J. Crew sales this weekend, which was good. I don't think I had any Madewell sales, but those three brands kind of make up the bulk of my sales these days. Because those are the brands I come across at the bins and so forth that I pick up time and time again. Okay, so this was actually in a recent Thrift With Me video, which I will link up on the screen. It is this Free People Diana midi wrap dress. Really cute. I've actually sold it before. So my cost of goods was $9.99. I had it listed for $58, I believe. And I received an offer for $35, which is what I think it projected for it to sell for. So I went ahead and accepted it. $35 plus $6.99 shipping. And that gave me a gross profit of $19.92, and it sold after only 5 days. So I think that's a really good sale. I paid $9.99 to make $19.92. Yeah, I would do that over and over and over again if I could, especially if I could sell it within 5 days. So really happy with that sale. Next was a liquidation item. For those of y'all who are new here, I used to do liquidation a lot. I buy bale pallets and sell them. I've done a video on liquidation, which I can link up on the screen, but I no longer source through liquidation, but I have a bunch of leftover stuff from my liquidation days, especially, during the pandemic. That was, a lot of people were doing liquidation at the time because, thrift stores and so forth were closed. But now they're back open, and I, as of this summer, decided to kind of shift gears entirely, or I guess this past summer. So this was a new Attack Topshop sweater, and I got it again through liquidation. It was an expensive liquidation palette. My cost of goods was $8.55 on this, and I had it listed for $35, and it sold for $28 plus $7.99 shipping, leaving me with a gross profit of $14.49, which really isn't that bad, but it did take 520 days to sell, so took some time. But I'm very happy that it sold, and that it sold for that price. That's a good price. And I'm also very happy to sell sweaters right now, because we're heading into spring, summer. So I like to still see this fall winter inventory selling. Okay, that was my last eBay sale of the day. Going into Poshmark. So my first Poshmark sale, this was also a liquidation item. This is from a Free People palette I got like a year and a half ago. And this is a pair of Free People Sophia distressed shorts. I had them listed for $45, and I received an offer for $30, which is about 30% off anyway. And I send 30% offers to likers to people anyway, so of course I accepted it. And my cost of goods was $11.34, so that gave me a gross profit of $10.64, and it took 553 days to sell. So like I said, I got this a year and a half ago. I still have a bunch of stuff left over, which is fine. Still producing sales for me, which is good. Okay. My next sale was also from liquidation. I had a lot of older items sell, which I'm always very happy about. This is a brand called LA Made that is sometimes sold at places like Shopbop and Revolve, and it's also a brand you can find, I think, at like TJ Maxx, I'm not sure. This is a pair of New Tag LA Made watercolor joggers, and I paid $12.74 for these through liquidation, and I had them listed for $65, and they sold with a 30% off offer to likers, sent through Poshmark VA for $45, and that gave me a gross profit of $21.24, which is good. I'm gonna do my Poshmark VA ramble now, so if you've heard it a million times, skip ahead about a minute. But Poshmark VA is an automation software I use in my business. I love it. I use it, I have it on constantly, and it sends offers to likers, 30% off offers to likers anytime someone likes something in my closet. That's how I generate most sales on Poshmark, and it only costs like $25 a month, I think, and so I have a massive return on investment with this particular software, and I highly recommend it to y'all if you haven't tried it yet. And you can try it for 2 weeks free, and then if you like it, you can use my code MOGIBETH, MOGIBETH, for 20% off your first month or your first year, depending on what subscription you choose. So I just highly recommend just trying it out and seeing if it does generate more sales for you in your reselling business, especially on, of course, Poshmark. But I also use it for sending bulk offers every single Sunday, which we'll get to, and I send 40% off offers on everything in my closet every Sunday. So I've really integrated it into my systems, and it's a really good standby software for me that I'd recommend. And I do recommend just using automation as much as possible within your business, because time is really money. And if you're sitting there sharing your closet, which, you know, Poshmark VA also shares my closet for me, or sending offers to likers, that's time you could be using listing or sourcing or relisting or whatever it may be. So yeah, I would just highly recommend it. Okay, anyway, so my next sale was actually a pair of jeans from the bins, and I was really excited to find these jeans. I like picking up 7 for All Mankind, the newer styles, and this was a newer style. It's a high-waisted skinny jean in Luxe Vintage Honest Gray. Item listed for $50, and they sold for $35. Which again, Poshmark VA, my 30% off offer to liker, someone accepted, and that resulted in a gross profit of $25.08, and it took 142 days to sell. And then my last sale of the day was actually something I believe, I'm almost 100% certain I got through online arbitrage. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, I did a whole video on online arbitrage that virtually nobody watched. I mean, no, people watched it, but it didn't do as well. The video didn't do as well as I thought it would. So if you want to know what I do with online arbitrage, I would just go ahead and watch that video. I think it was useful. I don't know, it's probably like over a year old at this point. But anyway, this sale was a pair of New Tag DL 1961 Pharaoh jeans. I paid $15.50 for them. I listed them for $75, and they again sold a 30% offer to liker sent through Poshmark VA for $52, and that gave me a gross profit of $24.08. Did take me 358 days to sell, but that's okay, because it sold for a good profit, and I'm happy. Okay. So that makes up my Friday sales. Let's move on to my Saturday sales. So I had a total sales number on Saturday of $402.97, and I had a gross profit of $209.66. So let me grab those sales. So let's start out with eBay once again. I had 3 sales on eBay The first was this Lululemon Sit-In Lotus Wrap cardigan, which was a great bins find, and I had it listed for $68, and I received an offer on eBay for $39 plus $9.99 shipping, which I accepted. And so that resulted in a gross profit of $33.01, and it took only 69 days to sell. This one is actually going in a padded flat rate mailer. My padded flat rate mailers came in wonky, so I have to tape one side of them. All right. Snug as a bug in a rug. And did I say, yeah, it took 69 days to sell, so that's good. I love finding Lululemon pieces like that at the bins. It doesn't happen every day, but like I'll typically find a Lululemon like tank or like an old pair of shorts or leggings, which I'll also pick up. But this was a newer style, really beautiful wool, 100% merino wool cardigan, so that was fun. I love when that happens. Okay, and then my next sale was also a bins find. This is a really good one as well. It was a J. Crew 9-inch demi boot cut jean in a size 34. I'm like pretty sure this was never worn. It was in excellent, excellent condition. It looked like someone just threw it back when I found it, so I was very happy about that. I paid $1 for it, and I had it listed for $60. Someone sent me an offer for $45 plus $7.99 shipping, which I accepted, and that gave me a gross profit of $36. Maybe I'll tape this. $36.85. So definitely don't sleep on J. Crew. I had a bunch of really good J. Crew sales this weekend. So I'm kind of feeling good about J. Crew, you know? I'm like, out of all the kind of like Anthropologie, Madewell, J. Crew, Free People, those kind of brands, J. Crew was at the bottom of my list, but now, I don't know, I'm feeling like it should go at the top, so. Oh, this also goes in a padded flat rate. Especially newer pieces. And the other good thing about J. Crew, at least for me, is that at regular Goodwills here, they don't really price it up like they do Madewell or sometimes Free People, so I can usually get it for a pretty good price. Or I can find it at the bins. All right. In the padded flat rate mailer you go. And it's going to Connecticut. Hasta la vista. All right, last sale on, put it in there a little bit. Last sale on eBay was this revolve off the shoulder polka dot midi dress. I'd had this a very long time, 614 days. And I had it listed for 60, but so when I received an offer, I think I received an offer for 20 and I countered 30, and then they countered 25, which I just went ahead and accepted, 25 plus $7.99 shipping, which gave me a gross profit of $11.96, which is fine. I just, I'm glad it's out the door because again, it took over 600 days to sell, and yeah, it was, and I was just accepting offers. Sometimes y'all ask me, do you counter? I tend to weigh in my mind, I just give myself, there's probably a 50% chance that if I counter, I'm not gonna hear back from them. So, I'm glad I countered in this scenario because it got me $5 more. But sometimes I'm willing to leave some money on the table just if it's good enough. Because I can't tell you how many sales I have just lost because I've countered when I really, really shouldn't have. So you've always got to weigh those odds in your head. I would never recommend a strategy where you just counter every time. Okay. On to Poshmark. Actually, I had pretty good Poshmark sales on this day. So my first, this was a sale. Actually, it took a while for sales to kick in on Poshmark. I think I went like, I don't know. I don't know if they have timestamps for when you had sales, but I went a while without having any sales on Saturday, and so when they started rolling in, I was like, oh, thank God. I was like in the afternoon. This was a sale, speaking of countering, Poshmark now has a feature where you can match the buyer's previous offer. And so they had sent an offer. I had these listed, I think, for 65. Yeah, I had received an offer for 30. And I think I countered for like 38 and didn't hear back. And so I just sent a match, or maybe it was even 35. I sent a match for their first offer and they just accepted. So, because I was like, you know what, actually I really need sales this weekend. I'm not gonna have another repeat of what happened last weekend. Like I've gotta accept some offers to just generate some sales, and you know what, I'm glad I did. These are a pair of J brand Mama maternity skinny jeans. I got these through online arbitrage as well for $15.95. Again, listed for 65, sold for 30, and then after my fees and my cost of goods, my gross profit was 805, which isn't great, but it did help my cash flow, and it took 257 days to sell, so I'm still happy that it did sell. It got me my $60 that I invested in it 257 days ago back, which is definitely something to consider if something's been sitting and it cost, you know, decent money to buy. Next is a Christmas tree skirt. Who would have thunk that in late April a Christmas tree skirt would have sold? But you know what? I've learned to not try to judge those kinds of things because things sell all year round. This was something I picked up at the bins. It was a Target. It's a Target Christmas tree skirt. It's really cute. I think sometimes when I am searching for things on Poshmark and then I find them in the wild, I tend to gravitate toward picking them up. And I had been searching for a Christmas tree skirt on Poshmark for the longest time, and then I did get one, so I don't need one anymore. But then when I saw this one, I'm like, okay, I do know that there is a demand for Poshmark Christmas skirts because I had liked a bunch and a bunch had sold out from under me. So, you know, just through my own buying experience, I know that people are searching for Christmas tree skirts. So I actually think I might not wrap this one because it's so massive. Maybe I'll try. Anyway, I had this listed for 30. I spent $1.27 on it at the bins. I had it listed for 30 and it sold. I received an offer for 20, which I accepted, which gave me a gross profit of $12.71. And it only took 45 days to sell, so I'm happy about that. I'm probably gonna put this in a box. It's just, I don't know, too big to fit in a mailer. All right, let's get it wrapped up here. Maybe I'll use one of my Amazon boxes sitting over there. Okay. Yeah, I am going to package this in an old Amazon box, which I am not above. I think reusing boxes is a great idea, especially if you're a reseller. And so I just kind of stashed a lot of Amazon boxes especially boxes that are like in shapes that are hard to come by free from USPS. Okay, so my next sale was a pair of Torrid Ponte knit pants that I got at the bins for 81 cents. I had these listed for 28. They sold for 19, and which gave me a gross profit of $12.37, and they sold after 131 days. So I love selling Torrid. I pick it up almost every time I see it at the bins. I would pick these up again for sure. There are brands you pick up because you know they're going to make you a really good gross profit. And then there are brands you pick up because you know they're going to make you a gross profit. And within a relatively, quick amount of time. And that Torrid, I would kind of delineate those between bread and butter and bolo brands. Torrid is a bread and butter brand that, while, sold for $19, it sold very consistently, very dependably, and yeah, I'm happy with it. Okay, then I had a bundle sale. It was 3 items. So the first item in the bundle was this Goldie Nico jeans that I had gotten in online arbitrage. I had these listed for 80. Within this bundle, they sold for $53.33, and that gave me a gross profit of $32.67, and they sold within 93 days. Next was this Tularosa Capri polka dot puff sleeve top. I had it listed for 70. And so within this bundle, it sold for $46.67 with a gross profit of $27.28, sold after 614 days. I'll wrap these two up together. And then my last item within the bundle was a new tag Mona Lisa, which I wouldn't know about this brand if it wasn't for liquidation. Rounded hem cardigan. And it sold, I had it listed for 75, and within this bundle it sold for $50 and gave me a gross profit of $22.58, and it took 750 days to sell. I think I'm going to put the bundle in a poly mailer. So all in all, very happy, very, very happy and grateful for this bundle sale. This is so soft. It's really, really soft. Mona Lisa. Let me just pop up that brand tag on the screen again. Because let me know in the comments down below, is it something you've heard of? A brand you've heard of? Sold at places like Revolve and Shop Up, so very cool. Alright. Next was another bread and butter brand that I love finding. I got this one actually in a recent Shop With Me video. And it's a Figs Chasma 3-pocket scrub top. I paid $7.99 for this, which is kind of high, for Figs. And I actually did discover a few really tiny spots on it, which I disclosed. I believe that's this one. So I had it listed for 28 and it sold for 19. which gave me a gross profit of $5.19, which isn't great, but it sold within 3 days. So that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, where I just can dependably know that figs is going to sell for me. So I love finding it, especially the bins, but I'll pick it up at a regular Goodwill as well. Just listed that figs top this past week, and I just listed this Baltic Born dress very recently. This was also from a thrift with me, and this actually had like some light discoloration on the hem, which I did disclose in the listing. I was projecting this to sell for I think 40, but because of I didn't realize that flaw, it sold for less. I mean I listed it for 45. I purchased it for $14.99, and it sold for 30 from an offer. And that gave me a gross profit of $6.99. So I should have been a little bit more diligent in looking at the hem, but it sold after 1 day, so I'm really not upset about that at all. I'm happy, very happy with the outcome of this sale, but I don't know if I pay $14.99 for Baltic Born again. It doesn't retail for a lot. Maybe I would just for a quick sale if I needed one, but and I'll definitely be sure to check the hem a little bit closer next time as well. But overall, I'm really happy with the sale. Okay. Go in there. I'm really curious. I have a question for y'all. What do you like to listen to while you're working? Do you like to listen to music? Or do you like to listen to podcasts or audiobooks? Like, what do you do to entertain yourself during the hours spent photographing, thrifting, listing, etc.? Because there is a lot of that kind of time. I mean, of course, you're probably watching this YouTube video while you're working, which is great. But what else do you like to listen to? Very curious. Okay, so that makes up Saturday sales. Let's move on to Sunday. I'll go grab those. So Sunday is the day I sent out those 40% off offers. Sunday started out really slow, but then it actually ended up being my best day by kind of a narrow margin, which is fine because my other days were good. So my total sales number for Sunday was $460.98, and then my total gross profit was $259.18. So I had 2 eBay sales. The first was this new tag, Free People No Sweat tank top. I have a bunch of these, so if you want one, go to my closet. It's a size medium. It's in this ultramarine blue color, really pretty. It has this like cut out in the back. And I got this one also in that Free People, here, I want to make sure this is folded, okay. Free People palette a year and a half ago, and I had it listed for $30. I received an offer for $21 plus $4.99 shipping, which I accepted, and it gave me a gross profit of $7.28 and sold after 549 days. These are so slowly selling out. I think I have like 6 left. I had a bunch when I first received this palette, so I'm happy to see them finding new homes. And then, my last sale this weekend on eBay was a really good one. Really so excited to see this sale pop up in my inbox. And it was from the bins, which makes it even better because I had a great gross profit margin. So it was from a really good bins haul. It was a really good bins trip. I'm trying to remember if it was the one, I don't know. I can't remember which one it was, but this is a brand that I had never sold before, but I found, I think, 3 pairs of pants by this brand within this one haul, and its brand is Hope. Let me know in the comments if you've heard of that brand, and I'll pop up a picture of the label here. It's really expensive. I think Scandinavian brand, I think, designer. I'm not sure off the top of my head. But anyway, I found this at the bins. This is a pair of black pants for $1.10. I had them listed for $120. And I constantly have a 10% off sale going on in my eBay store. And so when someone buys it, buy now, they get 10% off. And so someone bought it through buy now, which is great. It's only 10% off plus $7.99 shipping, which comes out to $115.99. And that gave me a gross profit of $92.78. So, and it only took 186 days to sell. I might say it only took, but that's really, I was very happy. I'm happy with that sale within 186 days, so I will happily take it. Grab some thank you stickers. All right, now on to my Poshmark sales. Okay, so the first was this Willow dress. I'm not super familiar with this brand, to be honest, but I received it in liquidation. It's a really pretty dress, and I think this dress sold to someone who is graduating. I said this in my last what sold video. But during this season of March, April, May, white dresses do really well because a lot of people wear white dresses to graduation. And so something to keep in mind. If you have any sitting around, list it now. But next year around January, February, keep an eye out for white dresses and get them listed. So anyway, this is a Nuitech Willow Bria dress, really cute. My cost of goods was quite high on this, it was 25 bucks. I had it listed for 70 and it sold for 42, which gave me a gross profit of $6.58, which is not great, but my cost of goods was really high on this. So I'm happy that it did sell for a profit, and it took 490 days to sell. So, took a bit of time. I need to honestly look this brand up. I'm not super familiar with it, but it's really cute, and happy it sold. Okay, next is a Nuitech Columbia dress. I got this at the bins. It cost me 95 cents, so much less than my previous sale. I got listed for 32 and it sold for 19, so these were 40% off sales, and that gave me a gross profit of $12.23. Let me make sure this is folded okay. Okay. And it sold after 110 days. Columbia is based in Portland, and so I come across it a lot, but haven't really figured out what sells well. But I will pick it up if it's new at tags. For sure. And so I'm happy with this sale. I need to do a little bit more digging into what sells well by Columbia. All right. Next sale, was actually a pair of shoes I listed. I photographed on Saturday and listed on Sunday, I think. And so I actually didn't even get a chance to inventory them, but I'm very happy, same day sale. They're these Naturalizer Effie platform wedges. And I actually got these at a regular Goodwill for $6.99. I had them listed for $35, and they sold to a 30% off offer for $24. And that gave me a gross profit of $10.19, and it sold same day. So very happy with that result. Instant gratification, instant money made. Very cool. So let me grab a box. Put this guy in. And my craft paper, you can get that on Amazon. If you're ever curious to see, you know, this tape dispenser, that craft paper, I don't know if I have these thank you stickers in there. Maybe I'll add them. You can find them in my Amazon little shop. And if you just Google MOGIBETH Amazon, it comes up, but it's also linked in the description down below. This tissue paper I actually get from Package Price, which is, I wouldn't recommend because you have to spend a lot of money to get free shipping, and otherwise shipping's really expensive. But I actually have another same size, because this is a really good size, tissue paper in my Amazon shop or whatever, and I need to order some of that just to make sure it's good quality. But yeah, if you want some larger size tissue paper, that is an option. Okay, so next is a pair of Athleta Salutation leggings, and I also got these at the bins for 79 cents. I had them listed for $38 and they sold for $22, which gave me a gross profit of $14.79, and they took 70 days to sell. Athleta, of course, is a really great bread and butter brand. I love finding and getting listed. And yeah, happy with this result. They're a size extra small and in gray color, but they sold well. Let's see if I can put this in here. I think I can. There we go, cool. Next was another bins find, and these are a pair of Pearl Izumi shorts. This is like a biking brand. This is my first time picking it up, and it actually sold quite well, so I think if I find it in the future, because I found it actually again recently and I passed on it, but I think if I find it in the future I will pick it up, because it's another one of those brands that's, I mean, this didn't sell for a lot of money. I'm not saying you should run out and scour for Pearl Izumi, but it did sell pretty quickly, and I think more substantial pieces would sell even faster. These were like the Prospect biking shorts. These didn't have a liner, so but I think if it did, it would have sold for more. But anyway, I got these for 79 cents. I had them, oh no, sorry. I got these for 93 cents. I had them listed for 22 and they sold for 13, which gave me a gross profit of $7.10, and they sold within 14 days. So yeah, this is definitely a brand I want to experiment more with in the future. Let's see what fit in this little guy. Cool. Okay. And then, oh, this was a really good sale. Another J. Crew. This was gorgeous. I got it for $14.99. I had it listed for $85 and it sold for $65, which gave me a gross profit of $34.99, and it sold after only 33 days. This is exactly the type of J. Crew piece I love finding and selling. So cute. And it was a size 2X, so it was a really good size as well. When I got this offer for $65, I just accepted it super fast because I was like, yay, the perfect offer for this dress. Okay. Next, ooh, this was another good Perfect Me find. It might have been the same video. I'm not sure, but it was this gorgeous new tag Beholden Amaral. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. What is it called? It was an overdress. New tag Beholden in pristine condition. I'm gonna pick up almost every time, but I luckily found this at the Goodwill for $9.99, I had it listed for 100, and then someone accepted my 40% off offer for 60, which is great. And that resulted in a gross profit of $35.99, and it sold after only 37 days. So really great sale. Beholden is Anthropologie's bridal retailer or brand, I guess, or sister company, I should say. And brands sold at Beholden are really good ones to know. And then the Beholden brand itself does really well too. But this is a Amarall. I wasn't too familiar with that brand. AMORALLE brand. And it does retail for a lot, so definitely a good one to know. Okay, I've had this for forever, so I accepted an offer on it. It's so cute. I don't know why it took so long to sell. It's this really, really cute Zara striped braided loose knit tote bag. I hope someone's taking it on vacation because it just screams take me on vacation. But I got this at the Goodwill for $12.99. Had it listed for $50 and it sold. I received an offer for $25, and since I just had it for so long, I accepted it, which resulted in a gross profit of $4.99, which isn't great, but took 665 days to sell. So again, just needed to find a new home. And I'm happy it did. So cute. Okay, and then I had two more sales. Another really good J. Crew sale. This was a really cute sweater that I really highly contemplated keeping, but I didn't. It is a cotton cashmere cardigan, and I got it at the bins for $1.09. I don't know why I didn't keep this. It's so cute, but anyway, I had it listed for $65 and it sold for $39, which gave me a gross profit of $28.09, which is great. And it sold after 104 days. Okay, and that brings us to our very last sale. This is actually something I picked up to take to Crossroads. They didn't want it, and so I ended up listing it, but I definitely want to pick this up in the future just because it's one of my favorite bread and butter brands, but it's just not a substantial enough piece to spend the time photographing, listing, etc. in the future. But anyways, it's Lulu's, and it's this flying high floral print crop top, cute. But I had it listed for $18 and it sold for $10. I got it at the bins for 86 cents, but it resulted in a gross profit of $4.17, and it took 129 days to sell. So it is cute, but yeah, I wouldn't pick it up again just because $10 is about what it should sell for, and that's just not high enough for me to consider doing in the future. So definitely pickier. I basically really stick to dresses when it comes to Lulu's, and I don't pay up for anything usually except for maxi dresses or formal dresses. Okay, well that is today's Ship With Me video. Let's go over my total sales. So for this weekend, I had a total sales number of $1,193.01, which is great, and a total gross profit of $632.76. So much better than previous weekend. In fact, I had more in gross profit than I had in sales. last weekend. So market improvement, I'm trying to list more consistently, and I think maybe that's the reason it's paying off, or maybe, you know, for whatever reason, people just were spending more this weekend. Maybe it had something to do with tax return money coming in, who knows? But very grateful and happy to get these packages out the door. Thank you so much for joining me in this video. Let me know if there are any sales that surprised you or any brands that you learned about. How was your weekend this past weekend? I'm really curious. I always read through all the comments, and I love hearing what y'all have to say about what's happening in your reselling business, because it definitely gives me a sense of, you know, what's going on for the greater community at large here. And yeah, okay, well, I'll stop rambling. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you haven't already, be sure to give this video a big old thumbs up, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll see y'all in the next one. Okay, love y'all. Bye!